Welcome to Flashpoint, the Fire Inside podcast, featuring leadership and team-building principles designed to ignite your inner fire and help you reach your full potential. On our program, you will learn from professional athletes, military and business experts, inspirational figures, leaders in the fire service, and other top achievers who have reached the pinnacle of success in their chosen fields. And now your host, international speaker and best-selling author, Frank Viscuso.
You know, I was an average wrestler, but to this day, I can tell you that I carry life lessons, which I think is why I'm a fan of the sport still to this day, but I carry life lessons that have stayed with me forever. And you could probably say the same, because I know you had a good high school career, but you never placed. And then you were a walk-on at Lehigh, and you end up being one of the best wrestlers that ever went through Lehigh program. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I don't know what it is about me. I feel like on a long enough timeline, because I have a good work ethic, and I'm able to withstand some things. I have pretty good, what I'd call perseverance, that I just feel like I'm going to be successful at some point. And so it's happened really twice now. It happened in my athletic career, and it also happened in my head coaching career. But yeah, in high school, what happened was I was kind of into it my freshman year. I always like won counties and stuff when I was in elementary school. Got into high school, I sort of was a freshman. You know, I used to be a hot shot. Now I'm a 100-pound freshman. And so, you know, I wasn't the hot shot anymore. That was a blow to my ego for sure. So I was kind of okay my freshman year. I was about 500. My sophomore year, I actually got hurt and couldn't finish the season. But then my coach, you never know when something will impact an individual and change them. That thing for me was my coach took me to the Olympic trials that were in Philadelphia. And what happened was this guy named Sergei Beloglazov, he's a Russian actually, who actually moved to the United States, and he was coaching at Lehigh at the time. And what happened was he did a clinic, and he's arguably the best wrestler ever. I think he's a 7-time world and Olympic champion. He was doing a clinic, and he was doing things I didn't know you could do. Like, the technique blew my mind.
Yeah.
And so I saw him, I swear, that was like the pivotal point for me, where I was like, I thought wrestling was a fireman's carry. You do a stand-up to get out, and you run an arm bar or a cradle. I had maybe a few more techniques, but that's how simple my mind was. And then I saw this guy doing things, and he looked like an artist. So from that point on, when I saw him, I got so obsessed with the sport. I actually followed him around at clinics and stuff. By my senior year, I was very good. I was undefeated until the region finals, and I trained really, really hard. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to win the States. There's no doubt about it. I've done all the work. I was so confident. And then I lost. So I lost in the region finals in overtime or something along those lines. For some reason, it like ruined my world. And so then I had trouble continuing to compete. And I didn't place in the state. So long story short, I go to Lehigh. I went to Blair for a year. That was pretty transformative too. A lot of it was physical maturity. I was the same height then. I weighed 135. I got to college. I was an All-American at 157. So I really was physically, and I think I was mentally a little immature too, competitively. But then I got to Lehigh, and things started to finally click for me, especially from a competitive standpoint. Something I learned, and I still use it to this day. You can use it in business or life or whatever. You can do all the preparation. Nothing is owed to you when you step into the competitive ring, or in your case, into the fire. You have to be able to, that preparation allows you to have a chance to be great in competition. The mistake I was making in high school was I thought the preparation guaranteed the success. So when I wasn't successful, it shattered that whole thing. And you know what I did? I said, poor me. I said, I worked so hard and I didn't get this. That's crap. And I sort of threw in the towel a little bit. It was like a very immature. In college, that I got over that. So maybe because I lost a little bit more,
Right.
but I got used to wrestling back. But that's my biggest regret in my whole wrestling career was how I handled the postseason in high school. But it was the greatest learning moment. Like, no matter how much preparation, if you're a lawyer, you still got to go in the courtroom and compete. If you're a firefighter, you still got to run into the fire and you got to figure out how to get the job done. And so that was the biggest thing I took. And I think that was the biggest change for me, was the physical maturity. And then also that competitiveness, like you got to compete, that allowed me to be very successful in college, where I was just okay in high school.
I love what you said there. I love how you said it doesn't guarantee a victory. It just ultimately gives you a good chance.
Yes.
I know one of your mottos, and a quote that I think your staff use regularly, is find a way to win. It's easier to find a way to win if you've done the work and you have the tools.